You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein. With me for the next few podcasts is...
Queen Bee from Gruber and Associates.
Gruber, as in Hans Gruber? I didn't realize he had a whole law firm.
He does. It's an entire association.
They went down quick, though.
Legal team.
And...
Rebecca Finkelstein.
Because Josh is at a Christmas party and is too good to be hanging out with us tonight.
It seems so wrong.
I know.
Because we know he's not better than we are.
No. So speaking of Gruber and Associates, obviously you are doing the Josh shtick of trying to segue us into what we're talking about. We're going to be talking tonight about...
Die Hard.
Die Hard. Yes, the movies, not the batteries.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
I mean, if we want to have a long conversation about
we could have a conversation about Die Hard batteries, but I don't know much about it.
No, I'd have to do some research first, but it'll be fine. We could do it eventually. One of the future podcasts, maybe. So, Die Hard is a series that I think really stands on the shoulders of two movies, and pretty much the rest of that series is utter crap.
It is, but if you watch soap operas of any kind and like continuations and stuff like that, it does give you a good overall picture from beginning to end of how that part of his life went.
How terrible of a husband and father he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's really not a good partner at all.
No.
Not even to his... He doesn't even have a partner.
But he still tries. He still tries to be a hero.
He does. Okay, so the first two movies, he's basically the lone wolf sheriff. It's like they wanted to make a Western. He literally says yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. They want him to be a Western hero just in the modern era, going up against basically a posse of bad guys doing their version almost of like a great train robbery or something just inside a building instead of on a train. On a train. I mean, I think John McClane in the first movie especially is about as close as you can get to a Western hero outside of the Old West.
I mean, hell, his name even sounds Western.
You just expect him to have like a sheriff star and be, hey, partner. Like, just that's just the kind of character it is. And the fact that it's Bruce Willis, who's not traditionally a Western star. I mean, he's been in a couple Westerns and they were awful.
Well, Bruce Willis isn't the best actor on the planet. Let's just be honest.
He's good at playing Bruce Willis.
But he can play Bruce Willis just fine.
And I think Bruce Willis is the character that's basically required to make Die Hard work.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, as I've said before, it is my favorite Christmas film.
The first one. Not the second one.
No, not the second one, not the third one, not the fourth one, not the fifth one. I think there's 6 movies?
There's 5. They were working on a prequel-ish 6th movie, but I think that one's been canceled. We'll get to that.
Okay.
So, what?
Too much, man.
Well, the concept stretched really thin after the first one. I mean, the first one is fantastic. Mm-hmm. One guy against a whole bunch of bad guys and slowly picks them off one by one while doing sarcastic banter that only Bruce Willis can really do properly.
Correct.
Yeah. And then they tried to do it again in an airport in Washington, D.C. in the second movie, and it makes no sense if you think about it at all, and it's really just not good.
And it's not Dulles Airport.
It's not. It looks like, they say it's Dulles Airport. It looks like an airport in Denver because I believe that's where they filmed it.
And I believe that is where they filmed it, yeah. They definitely didn't sell it for me for Dulles because I lived in Reston for a long time, and I know it's not Dulles.
No, it's like watching the movie Arlington Road, and you're sitting there going, 1, there's no Arlington Road in Arlington, and 2, this doesn't in any way, shape, or form look like Virginia.
Right?
What is this? They got Washington, D.C. right. They didn't get Virginia right. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no.
But yeah, no, my big issue with Die Hard 2, not just the fact that it's basically a retread of the first movie, but it's also the fact that they're like, we have these people in the air. They only have 90 minutes of fuel. They're going to have to circle because there's nowhere else we can send them. I don't know of a single airport that isn't a half an hour away from another airport. Not just on the East Coast, where you've got like 3 in the Washington, D.C. area that are like 10 minutes apart.
Yes.
But like in general.
Well, you have Dulles, you have Ronald Reagan, and then if you can't get to Ronald Reagan, you have JFK, which is literally only 30 minutes away from.
Yeah, you've got BWI in Baltimore. There's so many airports.
And there's also smaller airports where they could have landed.
Yes. Like, we're just talking the big international ones. There's 4 airports here in Indianapolis. If the Indianapolis airport was taken over by terrorists, they just ship them to Greenwood.
Exactly. It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And that's the premise of the premise of the movie. falls apart. And you're sitting there going, why are we scared of these terrorists? They're really shitty at planning. Like, start to finish, they're bad.
Yeah, it was just a bad plan altogether.
It was like, this is only going to work in this context if the people at Dulles don't realize we've magically transported them all to a place that's not Dulles.
Right.
Did no one on the terrorist team go, there's a less convoluted plan we could do, guys? Like,
why don't we just blow up the plane?
I know.
Right? I don't understand. There's nobody important on the plane.
No.
Just blow it up.
So, yeah, no, I don't like the second one. The third one, though, with Sammy J. Oh, I like the third one.
That's because we all like Samuel L. Jackson.
We all like
Who doesn't?
Sammy J. Yeah, no, he's
amazing.
Great. He's great.
Yeah.
That was one of his earlier movies, too, before he was like a huge A-list star that starred in everything. I mean, I looked at a statistic. He starred in 4 superhero movies last year.
Yep.
Yeah. It's amazing how many movies that dude is in.
I will watch anything with Samuel L. Jackson.
He's like Michael Caine.
Yeah.
He'll show up in anything for a paycheck.
Yes.
But to his credit, he does a damn good job being Sammy J.
He does. And when they have to redub him, he won't allow other people to redub him. He will actually go into the studio and dub all of his overdubs.
No one does his voice the way he does.
Exactly.
You can't sound like Sammy J and say motherfucker the way he does. I mean, that's just...
So true. Monkey Fighter. That's right. Monkey Fighter.
No, in Die Hard 2, I watched this. I've seen this multiple times on TV when they do the overdub. It's Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
Mr. Falcon.
Yes.
Nice.
They got the syllables right. I'll give them credit for that. But you're still going, I don't know. What the hell does that even mean?
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. I'm going to remember that.
But no, I really enjoy the third one. I mean, it's a different premise. It's, spans the city. They've got a bunch of different missions to do.
And it's Gruber's brother who's involved.
Yes, so it's a nice callback to the first movie without being a retread of the first movie.
Correct.
Stakes are established. Character interaction is good. Giving him a partner changes the whole formula of the movie. I really like that. And I think the problem with the latter 2 movies is they retreaded that part too much. Is basically trying to say this is going to be the third movie again, but now set in Washington, D.C. during July 4th, which does make the 4th movie an Independence Day movie. Or the 5th one, which I don't think any of us can even remember basic details of because it's absolute ass, where they go to Russia and things happen.
And it's his son, and somehow his son is in the CIA, and...
Things happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the least surprising part. Like, okay, no, I don't buy the guy, Jai Courtney. I don't believe Jai Courtney as anything. I think he's a terrible actor, and unless you're hiring him to play a animate slab of meat, I don't think he's convincing in any role he's ever been in.
Wasn't Kevin Smith in the 4th one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. But, no, Jai Courtney is a terrible actor. To start to finish. But I don't have a problem with the concept of his son being in the CIA and he doesn't know it because that's how the CIA works.
True
That's
enough.
true. I just don't believe Jai Courtney in anything. In anything, start to finish.
The daughter who played his daughters in the 4th movie, wasn't she the same daughter who was in Taken?
No.
Different actress?
Yeah, no, it was Mary Elizabeth Winstead. It was Ramona Flowers. You can't remember her in anything?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Gotcha.
Over the course of these podcasts, I've realized you know every movie she's in, you just don't know who she is.
Right. That we should do a podcast on her.
And I'll have to remind you of every movie she's in.
Because nobody can remember who she is.
No,
Right.
I don't hate the 4th movie. I think the 4th movie for the first hour and 15 minutes is pretty good. Right up to the point where they decide to have him become a superhero and take down a Harrier jet, like man versus jet. At that point, it loses all context of reality for me, and I stop believing anything that's going on screen.
Fair enough.
But the 4th movie's not bad. It's got that guy from the Apple commercials and...
Yes, I can never remember his name either. Justin Long. Justin Long.
I want to say Jason Lee, and that's a different guy.
Yeah, different guy. Justin Long.
If you did a movie with Jason Lee and Justin Long, I mean, they could practically play like it'd be like vice versa, and they'd be playing the exact same character, whichever version of it was. But yeah, no, there's 2 good movies, I would say, in the franchise, the first and the third ones. And then they wanted to make a 6th one that was like half modern day, half prequel about how he met his wife, and I don't see the point.
I don't think that's entirely needed.
No.
Ever.
No. Well, Disney bought Fox and they decided to cancel that, and now they're trying to do it as a Disney Plus TV show instead, but still the prequel premise. And I'm like, don't we know all we need to know about John McClane? Like, didn't he get interesting once his wife split from him and he started fighting terrorists? If he starts fighting terrorists before he gets rid of his wife, doesn't that change everything about his character?
Yes, and isn't that kind of the premise for Jack Ryan in the first place?
Yeah.
So let's not do that.
No,
Disney Plus.
Yeah. If you start having him fight people before a certain point, then that every man gets thrown into a situation he can't handle that the first movie did is lost. And that's the whole thing. That's why the first movie works, and I think only the third movie also works, because at a certain point, even he's sitting there going, why does this keep happening?
Right.
I don't want to do this.
And by the fifth movie, it's just, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
My life is out of control.
And I'm just going to roll with it because I'm a superhero now.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
Like, John McClane gets lost in the John McClane series. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like as absurd as, what was the first M. Night Shyamalan movie?
Sixth Sense?
No, not that one.
Unbreakable?
Unbreakable.
That was the second one, but okay.
Okay. But you know what I'm saying? It's the same character, kind of. It's John McClane.
Well, it's just
it's just
Willis.
the superhero John McClane.
Yeah, but it actually works there because he's meant to be a superhero, and it's him discovering it.
Right.
I mean, if that was the fifth Die Hard movie,
Why can't we just make that the prequel?
I like it. Going to become a cop because I have superpowers.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, I'm not debating that. That's fair. Sure, why not?
That's what you should go.
Sure, why not? At one point, I was trying to think about how you could make a good Die Hard movie now, because how bad the franchise was. And, like, you know, it only less than half the series is actually decent, and they've done basically every concept they can. And, I mean, that's part of the reason why I think
they should do Die Hard a Hanukkah.
Just to bring it back around. Now it's a Hanukkah series and not a Christmas series.
Exactly.
It's him and the Jewish actor whose name apparently can never remember, Billy Madison. Adam Sandler.
Yeah, okay, another actor we can never remember because we try to forget.
Him and Adam Sandler and 8 Crazy Nights, the Die Hard musical.
I like it.
No, but my thought was, I mean, speaking of the Western with great train robbery, I was like, if you're going to do another Die Hard movie and you don't want to, like, just pile onto the continuity that's already there because he's a ridiculous character and it doesn't matter anymore, I think you just go back, like, years and years, but go. Set it in the 1800s and you do, like, Die Hard 1800 or so, and it's like Sheriff McClane defending a train against the Gruber brothers.
That would be great.
See? Yeah. And it's just he's just there traveling home, and then this great train robbery happens, and he has to, like, under siege his way across the train to take out the terrorists.
I like that.
See, I think that would work.
You could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I agree.
It doesn't have to be a superhero version of John McClane anymore because it's a new guy, quote unquote, even though it's still played by Bruce Willis. And it's,
right.
Yeah. So, and as long as you've already established that he's already had kids, you don't even know if he's going to survive the movie because his line has already been continued.
Right. There you go.
Yeah. That was my Die Hard movie. That would be the one that I would write.
I like it. You should write it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Whatever. I have to muster energy to care about Die Hard, and I think this was as much caring about the series as I could
as you could get there.
Yeah, because the series sucks at this point. What would be your Die Hard movie? Or was it just the Die Hard Hanukkah with Adam Sandler?
I don't know. Die Hard, I was thinking more modern, but now if you're going to do the whole 1800s thing with a train robbery.
You can go anywhere with it.
Yeah, you can really go anywhere with it. We could do a futuristic Die Hard.
Oh, didn't they already do that?
Oh, The Fifth Element.
Oh,
yeah.
No,
I mean, it basically is.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
No, there was this other one.
Was it Bruce Willis in it?
No.
Okay.
Maybe it wasn't Die Hard, but it had a very Die Hard. Oh, wait. I don't know. I'm getting mixed up. Never mind.
Fifth
I think you're confusing him with Mel Gibson.
No. I'm thinking. Remember that movie about where they got a prisoner guy to visit?
Oh, Lockout.
Yeah, Lockout.
Yeah, that's Escape from Earth, but not done by the Escape from New York guy, John Carpenter.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a different movie.
Okay.
But no, Lockout is a great continuation of a franchise without the people on board being there. I will agree. I mean, I like that movie. But yeah, Fifth Element is about as good a Die Hard in the future as you can get.
That is true. I wasn't thinking that. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I like your concept. I think we should go with it. Absolutely.
Do you have a Die Hard movie in you?
No.
She doesn't. She only watched them last year and she doesn't remember them.
Yeah. And really, when you say I watched them, it meant it was on and I was on my computer.
Hey. Best Die Hard prequel, Moonlighting. Because again, he plays the same character in everything.
Yeah. Except in that, I think he was a private investigator, wasn't he? That's like
So he was moonlighting.
Okay.
Here we
He
go.
is kind of moonlighting in this because he's like stepped away from the force in New York to go to California.
Yeah. He's not. He really doesn't have any jurisdiction where he's at. He just has a gun and he just does it.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think if you actually look at the rules of police officers,
He should have been in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
really
He killed
should
a
have.
lot of people and
He
should
really
have been
did.
in jail.
I mean, if we really want to break down the Die Hard series, he should probably be arrested and put in jail. So prison. That's a life sentence.
The first movie has a different ending, and the rest of the movies aren't allowed to happen, basically, which, for the most part, I'm okay with.
Still, first movie's the best movie.
Yeah. All right. Are we good?
I think we're good.
Okay. This has been Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein.
I'm Queen Bee with Gruber and Associates.
I'm Rebecca Finkelstein.
And we will see you next time.